Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. We're taking a look here at Gala, seeing what's going on here. We're going to jump into the back-end data and obviously help understand, generally what's going to happen here next with this coin. Because when we looked at it recently, it's making lower lows and lower highs, due for a correction. We're going to talk about, big picture, how much further down it could go. We have completed our ABC pattern on Elliott Wave. Doesn't mean it's just going to shoot right back up, but it does imply we might be able to change the direction that we're heading in right now. Okay, so we'll look at a few things as well. If you're new to the channel though, just know I'm not a financial advisor and I do hope you can learn something today. I love to teach people to trade, so if you want to become a better trader, join my trading academy, community, or signals group, link down below. My signals look a little something like this. I get the question all the time, so I figure we just cover it. We got, just say for example, this is my day trading bot. We take profits on Ethereum, Litecoin, Matic, XRP, etc. But basically the trade setups give you multiple entries and multiple exits and effectively give you a stop loss as well. So it works fairly well for my day traders. And of course we got some swing trades too that are a little different in structure, that are held a little bit longer, but take larger percentages just based on the fact that it's held for longer periods of time. But we took some nice profit from Crowcoin, and there's a few in here from Gala as well, just a few days ago. Anyways, I won't bore you with that, but that's really cool stuff. Cool data. I get the question a lot, so thanks again so much for requesting that I cover that. So what do we want to look at here with Gala? This is the back-end data with the liquidation. We can see a heavy concentration. This is getting darker and darker every time I look at it. They're at about 2.8 cents. So 2.8 is a big liquidation level. If the price comes down to that level, Gala's going to have a bad day. Of course, it's probably going to have a bad day in the first place to get to that level, but you get the idea, right? People with long positions are going to get wiped out there. Same thing to be said about 3 cents. That's the second most heaviest concentration there. We saw most recent liquidation there at about 3.1. As you can kind of see here, if you take a look at this, it's really normal for the whales to push the price action down these little levels there, just wick down perfectly enough to wipe out a bunch of longs, and then price goes right back up. So these are like little whale games that happen all the time. So the key takeaway here is there's a lot more longs than shorts that should get liquidated. Therefore, we could probably pretty much presume the price is going to go lower because of that. Okay, again, keep that in mind. But we got a good little amount of volume support here at about 3.1. So keep in mind all the liquidation is right here in this 3 to 2.8 range. So this is where all the liquidation is concentrated there. We'll just go ahead and put that on the charts for the moment, kind of pay attention to that. So on the daily, quickly to summarize, very simple here. We do see a price pull back here. We could see some of these lower levels here, 0.382, 0.5, 0.618. This isn't 100% guarantee. This is implying that this is the highest point that this is going to go, which seems logical at this point. And this is obviously based on a pretty larger, macro type of level, right? So again, with this Fibonacci levels, it's not always tried and true, but we can kind of summarize that 0.382 is close to a recent resistance level. And same thing with 0.5 as well. We had some resistance there too. Those are turned support levels, so therefore 2.6 to 2.8 should be bouncing points if the price does pull back. Okay. So again, keep that in mind. If we take a look at TD sequential, we're at a 9 right now. So hypothetically, we could see some downside. We're ascending positive, this ascending trend line, concurrent with the 20-day SMA. So again, still mostly bullish here on this coin. There's no reason to expect the price or the sky to fall per se, but we do want to anticipate the worst case scenario and then hope for the best, right? Because again, I know hope doesn't really belong in trading. It's more so logic and just kind of deductive reasoning, statistical probabilities. But on the same accord, it's important to remain positive, but also be cautiously optimistic. Okay, so it could fall. We want to be ready for that. That said, we have a second divergence here on stochastic RSI. That's typically a bearish sign. That does imply the price action could drop. We can see money flow index and RSI still fairly high, not in any kind of extreme situation. Okay, so that's kind of more so positive / neutral news there. We do have a fair value gap as low as about 2.7. Okay, again, that kind of just speaks to the point that we have a lot of liquidation in that range too. So just some stuff to be mindful of. So 4-hour time frame. Let's quickly note here a couple of things. So we just got that little range there. We know that's a liquidation range. If we look at the 4-hour time frame, we want to identify a few key factors. First of all, we're not overextended at all. All well and good there. We came up to an overextended state. Now we're consolidating at this level, this 0.5 Fibonacci level. Again, this is also the recent resistance turned support. So you can kind of see price wicks up 2 or 3 times and then it breaks. And now it comes back down to test it 2 or 3 times here so far. Okay, so is it going to break down? That's the question. Well, let's see if there's anything else kind of telling us that. So looking at the RSIs, RSI is above 50. That's a positive factor here. We've got the money flow index still remaining high. Okay, so money's still coming into this coin, which is a good sign. Okay, stochastic RSI is swinging down still, so that doesn't really tell us that we've fully finished our downtrend yet. So in truth, We probably want to look at some smaller time frames to identify this, but if we look at our MACD, it's still diverging. Okay, so we have neutral to negative news on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so in summary here, the 4-hour time frame is looking a little bit more bearish. Okay, so if the 4-hour time frame is looking bearish and the daily time is looking bullish, you consistently keep seeing bearish activity on the 4-hour, that's going to translate into the daily time frame. Okay, so we want to go down to the 1 hour and kind of effectively understand what this is going to look like for us here if we continue lower. And just hypothetically, what we're where we're at right now, I think we're probably traveling within the cloud is my guess. Okay, we broke down below, conversion lines below the baseline, and lagging span is tentatively free and clear. So this does say if you have a short position open, you'd want to keep it open for another maybe 3 or 4 hours, because if the price doesn't go down any lower, then it should likely continue higher. All that being said, really just implies that we're in a situation right now with us being below the cloud and below this ascending trend line that's mostly a bearish sign, and we're establishing lower lows and lower highs still. Until we can break this most recent high, in other words, we want to be able to get through this level here and to continue upwards, then we're going to be in a position where we can kind of expect the price to go down. In other words, the price might come up here and do one of these. That's a possibility. It could come up here, break that level, and do one of these. We want to look for that. That's what we're looking for to be able to confirm the bullish trend. So it's too premature too early right now to tell. And if you look at the Ichimoku cloud once more, we also need to break above the cloud as well. So hypothetically, in 12 hours, we go sideways and do one of these. Then we're going to be in a good position to potentially take a long at that point. So between now and then, we really just got to kind of remain patient and see if we come up to reject this level or if we come up to break it and retest it. That's ultimately what I look for confirmation. I do not like taking long positions into the cloud. I don't think it's a very safe measure. Yeah, so again, this is still looking like we're more likely to see the price come down to retest the 2.8 to 3 cent range. Okay, that just seems more of a likelihood right now. Is the price going to shoot up as soon as I upload the video and you watch this? Probably. It'll probably be higher. That's just how it goes sometimes, okay? So what you want to look for at that time, depending on where it's at, look at the charts, pay attention to each Ichimoku cloud. Are we above this 3.31 mark? And we closed above 3.31 on the daily, for example. That would be a good consideration. Because again, we need to have the price action above the cloud for at least 3 or 4 hours. That puts us about 12 hours out from now. So at this time tonight, is it going to be a better situation? We'll have to reevaluate and find out, but for right now, I'm leaning more towards the price pulling back than it is to continue higher, because it's exuding lower lows and lower highs and just bearish types of patterns on the smaller time frames. Those are what we pay attention to initially, and then obviously verify on the daily that we're in good shape. We are tentatively in good shape on the daily, keep in mind. We're still very bullish in the overall sense of things. That doesn't, I mean, we can literally come all the way down to like 2.8 and still be bullish, right? So between now and then, we got to keep our head on a swivel and make sure we remain patient, but also ensure that you're using confirmation, and we don't have confirmation just yet to take a long. And honestly, I think it's too late to take a short personally, because there's no guarantees it's going to come down either. Okay. So again, kind of one of those indecisive moments, and I know it sucks to see that. You watch this whole video like, man, I got nothing out of this. Well, truth is, you got something. You got the education on what to identify. Use that in future trades. Okay. If you see a coin that is a situation like this where it's kind of indecisive, don't take the trade. That's what good traders do. They don't take trades. We look for reasons not to take trades. Okay. Try not to convince yourself it's a good trade. Convince yourself it's not first. See how that treats you. All right, folks. Last but not least, extremely important you double check this, because a lot of our BingX members are requiring VPN and KYC for that exchange. This exchange does not require it. No VPN, no KYC. $5,500 in bonus rewards if you use my link to register. But more importantly, they have trailing stop losses, multiple profit targets, all things you need to use as a good trader to be able to stay effective in the game. Okay, so be sure to check that out. We have information here on a Bitunix link here, and you can effectively go ahead and see all that here and now. Okay, again, it's all available there as far as instructions on how to use it, etc. So I hope that you learned something here today. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day.